Sandy from Senior Slim Down with Sandy. This is my week 7 on Zepbound update. As much as I think about Zepbound for making these videos, I actually forgot to take my shot on Monday. And I'm sitting there Monday night and I think, oh crap, wasn't I supposed to do something today? So I think part of the reason was my husband was out of town. And when David's not here, I just lose all sense of time. I mean, when you're retired, really, what's the difference between Monday and Tuesday? So I waited until Tuesday morning to take my injection because I was actually worried it might keep me up. This week, I lost half a pound. So my total weight loss in 7 weeks is 7 pounds. I started at 293, and at the end of this week, I was 286. My BMI is 48.8, and I've lost 2.39% of my body weight since I started. So, all in all, a pound a week on average isn't terrible, but it does lead me into what happened when I went to my appointment at the weight loss clinic this week. So I go to these appointments about every 4 to 6 weeks. And when I go, I see a clinical nurse. I've only seen the doctor twice in total. And I told her about not getting my sample for the Zepbound and having to miss a week. And I promise this will be the last time I ever bring this up in my updates. But by the way she reacted, I'm wondering if somehow it was some sort of decision they came to in their staff meetings about not giving free samples from their golden hoard of samples to people who are waiting to get on the bridge program. For some reason, she didn't react at all when I told her my story about how the doctor had put on my clinical notes after my last visit that they should give me a free sample if my bridge program meds hadn't come through yet. Maybe she just didn't care. Or maybe she thought I was whining too. At any rate, as I said before, this will be the last time I'm ever going to bring this up again. I had also gained 1.2 pounds since my last visit to the weight loss clinic, and she didn't seem very concerned about that either. And she did say that a lot of times it depends on the time of day, and it was a late afternoon appointment. She was more concerned, though, about my blood pressure, which was a little high, and I had forgotten to take my blood pressure medication that morning like I usually do. And I guess this just has something to do with David being out of town. I'm just all discombobulated with him here. I just have no sense of time and place. And the other thing, of course, is that it was literally 100 degrees or more outside, and I had to walk across the parking lot and go upstairs to the clinic office. So who knows? She really wants me to try to track my blood pressure at home. And there isn't any reason why I shouldn't do that. I've got a perfectly good blood pressure machine. I've got a plus size cuff. And in case you don't know, if you're using a cuff that's too small for your arm, it'll give you a false reading. My cuff is fine. I just don't like doing it. It just squeezes so hard. And I don't like doing what I don't like to do. But I may have to start doing that though. Tracking blood pressure, of course, is just a good thing to do in general. And there's also the plus side that I might have my blood pressure go down. Ultimately, that's my goal, to lose enough weight that I can go off my blood pressure meds. The bigger news that came out of my visit to the weight loss clinic this week was that she asked me if I wanted to go up to 5 milligrams. And I said I thought maybe that was a good idea because I am hungry a lot. I wake up hungry. A lot of times I go to bed hungry. I talked to her about some of my sleep issues, and she said maybe going to bed hungry was one of the reasons I was having a hard time sleeping. And she actually suggested that I eat a snack before I go to bed. And I have to say, that is the first time I've had anybody ever suggest I eat a snack before bed. So she sent in the prescription for the Zepbound Quick Pen to go up to 5 milligrams. And when I checked my pharmacy app, it was in there at the bridge program prices. So I guess they've got that figured out at this point. The nurse also said something about, since I had 2 doses left in my quick pen at 2.5, that I could just take both of them the next time I took my injections to go up to 5 milligrams. But I decided not to do that. That would mean I would have gone up to 5 milligrams right before this trip for my high school reunion. And I'm just not really sure if I'm going to have any side effects. One of the reasons I'm especially wary about going up in my dosage without knowing how it's going to affect me is I think I may end up going to my high school reunion by myself. And I had planned on my husband David coming with me. I don't know if you ever noticed in any of my update videos our dog wandering around, but our dog Lucy is 16 years old, which is basically the equivalent of 100 years old in a human being. And she's so frail right now, there's no way we can ask anybody else to try to take care of her. So I don't think David really wanted to go to the reunion anyway. He may secretly be relieved. Of course, there's always the chance she may not be around by the end of the week. We get up every morning to check and see if she's still breathing, but so far, so good. Being 100 years old is tough on both man and beast. Lucy's a sweet old dog, though, and I always try to keep in mind that hopefully I'll be that old someday, and I hope that people take care of me too. What I'm hoping to get out of going up to 5 milligrams on the Zepbound, though, is not feeling so hungry, getting a bit more decrease on the mental chatter. Ideally, I would eat less without having to track my food. So I have no concept of portions. But if I could naturally eat less without tracking, that would be fantastic. Anyway, this moving from 2.5 to 5 milligrams of Zepbound is a big step on my climb up the mountain to lose a significant amount of weight. I want to say there's a lot of people who have taken the time to write comments about their successes in their weight loss journey and to give suggestions on things that have helped them. I really, really appreciate it. Thanks so much. Next week's video will probably have a lot about my high school reunion. And I have to say that one thing I've realized since starting Zepbound is how many people have been taking GLP-1s in a lot of cases over several years. And it's making me wonder, will I be the only fat person at my high school reunion? Anyway, thanks for watching and see you later.